Hey everybody, Brandon Boyd with The Brandon Boyd Show. Thank you so much for watching, and this is going to be a really fun episode because we're going to dive deeper on a topic that I've touched on briefly in my weekly Pointers news updates that come out every Sunday evening. Now, as many of you know, I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Kentucky, and there's a lot of craziness going on in the real estate world today, all right? There's a lot of people looking for homes. There's just a tad bit of a shortage on the inventory side all over the country, and today I want to talk about the 10 things that home buyers need to do in order to set themselves up for success. So we're going to hit the 10 must-dos, but before we do that, let's get started by giving me a big thumbs up on this video if you find it entertaining or helpful, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notifications for alerts if you want more information and more topics related to credit cards, points and miles, travel, money, finance, real estate. At the end of the day, whether it's a credit card, whether it's money, or whether it's your payments, it's all going back to what's coming out of your wallet and what's coming out of your bank account, all right? And that's why you watch this channel. We want it to be all-encompassing. So I hope this is helpful to a lot of you out there. With that said, we've got a lot to cover. Seriously, a lot to cover. And everything will be timestamped down in the description below. So if you want to go back to a topic later on, just check this timestamp down there. I try to take care of you guys the best way I can, all right? So with that said, let's get going. The first thing you need to do as a potential home buyer is work with a realtor or real estate agent. And this is absolutely critical in an ultra competitive market especially. So think about this. I have a lot of buyers that'll come up to me and they'll say, well, Brandon, if I don't work with a real estate agent on the buying side, then I'll save some money because I don't have to pay an agent and maybe I'll get a better deal on the home.
You're wrong.
And that is absolutely false. First of all, it should cost you nothing to work with a buyer agent. Second of all, the selling agent that is selling the home that you're interested in is going to make 6% on that property on average, all right? That's a pretty solid number. Whether you work with a buyer agent or not, the seller of that home is going to pay that agent 6%. So that can work one of two ways. Let's say the selling agent works with somebody that doesn't have a realtor from the buying side. That means that seller agent gets to keep the whole 6%. Now, if you come in with a buying agent, then you can work together on that transaction and that 6% will get split. But at the end of the day, the money coming out of the pocket of the seller, it's 6%, all right? So there's absolutely no benefit to doing this, all right? So make sure you work with a solid real estate agent or realtor. Second thing, and this is probably even more important than the first one, the second thing is to make sure that you actually work with a realtor that does a lot of transactions and knows what the heck they are doing. Let me explain what I'm talking about. In the city of Lexington alone, there are almost 4,000 real estate agents. It's almost like the 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon, only it's like a 2-degree separation with realtors. Everybody knows a realtor, everybody knows an agent, and that's perfectly fine. But let me tell you this, in a competitive market where you need somebody on your side that knows the market, knows how to write offers, and knows how to get the deal done, having the wrong agent can have dire consequences and could cost you your dream home. Let me explain exactly what I'm talking about. So in this example, I've gone back and actually looked at my last 10 transactions. And by the way, all of those have been multiple offer situations, meaning that there's been more than one offer on every single property that I've gotten a contract on recently. Out of those 10 clients, I only missed out on a couple of contracts. The other ones I've been able to close out. And the reason I've been able to do that is because I know how to communicate with the agents, I know what they're looking for with the offers, and there's certain wording and language that you can put into a real estate offer that will put your offer at the top and breeze by everybody else that just got their real estate license and doesn't really know what they're doing yet. Also, just because you have your uncle or your great Aunt Bertha or whoever it is that really wants to help you out, that's really great that your family member wants to help you out, but let me tell you this, it's your life, it's your money, it's your home. If you want to get the home you want, don't trust it in the hands of somebody just because you know them. Trust it in the hands of somebody that has a proven record of getting the job done. So at the end of the day, unless your uncle or your great Aunt Bertha are moving in with you or something like that, it doesn't matter what they think. Your goal at the end of the day is to get your dream home. So make sure you work with a high-octane realtor to get the job done, because I can tell you, I can spot a new agent a mile away. The offers aren't as competitive, and that lets people like me that knows what they're doing take advantage and get the offers for my clients. So make sure that you not only work with an agent, but you work with somebody that knows what they're doing. The third thing you need to do as a home buyer is make sure that you get pre-approved for your mortgage loan before you start looking. Because things are moving so quickly right now, not being pre-approved is a deal breaker in a lot of cases, and let me explain exactly what I mean. If you know you're going to be buying a home in the next 2 to 3 months, go ahead and get quotes on closing costs and interest rates from several different lenders and see which one suits your needs best. Once you've selected the lender you want to work with, at that point they're going to require information probably like your pay stubs, your W-2s, and any other paperwork they need to verify exactly how much you make to see if you can afford the mortgage that you're looking for. Once you are approved, once they pull your credit and they make sure everything's okay, then you will get a pre-approval letter, and when you're sending in your offer to purchase a home, sending in that pre-approval letter is very helpful because that tells the seller and the seller's agent that not only do you want this home, but that you can also afford it. That's really important. I've seen several offers that have been turned down when they say, okay, this is our offer, but it's pending getting our pre-approval letter. You need to go ahead and have that, especially in a situation where there's 4 or 5 offers on the table and there's other people that are already pre-approved. The sellers are just going to swipe yours away and not even look at it if you're not pre-approved because you're going up with people that have the money to get the home and it's proven in the letter. So make sure you get that pre-approval letter before you even start thinking about buying a home. The fourth thing you need to do is make sure that you know your budget and you know how far you're willing to go to get your dream home, all right? The budget is absolutely critical because if you get a home that is too much of your monthly income, you're gonna be what's known as house poor, meaning you've got a really sweet house, it looks absolutely great on the inside, but you may not even be able to fill it up with furniture or put pictures on the wall or anything else because your monthly income is not able to keep up. You know, just a general rule of thumb with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, somewhere around the neighborhood of 30% is a pretty good number, again, depending on your specific circumstance and how many other payments that you have. But just make sure that you don't get yourself in a pinch because mortgage lenders will approve you for more than you should be spending, and it could put you in a bad financial situation. So if you do get pre-approved for, let's say, $300,000, that doesn't mean you go out and get a $300,000 home. That means that's as much as you can push it. And if anything goes wrong with your situation and you've pushed it all the way to your limit, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble and it could cause you to be house poor because of changing circumstances throughout your life. You may lose a job, you may go down in pay. Things happen, stuff happens, and you can't predict it. So make sure you take that into account with your budget. The other thing is just make sure you know how far you're willing to go personally. One really good rule of thumb on this is how much would you be willing to pay to not click on the Zillow app and see that a home has gone pending and you wish you could have spent $1,000 more to get that home. Find that point to where when it says pending, you want it to be your name and not somebody else's. So take everything into account, but make sure you don't go overboard with your budget. Number 5, make sure you go ahead and start shopping for homeowners insurance before you even get started as well. You do not have to be under contract with a property to get a quote for homeowners insurance. If you're shopping around in a general vicinity for homes or a general price range, send a property or two that you're interested in to your homeowners insurance agent and have them work up a quote really quick just to see how much initially it could be. And also make sure you get quotes from at least 2 to 3 different reliable companies.
See how much you could save on homeowners and renters insurance.
I'm telling you, it's so easy to get home insurance on Progressive.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Just like the real estate agent example I gave earlier, don't just go get your insurance at your buddy's office because your buddy ain't living with you, okay? You can certainly get a quote from them, but also get quotes from other people. Don't just go with someone because you know them, because at the end of the day, they ain't paying your bills. Make sure you take care of yourself, and if you can help your friend out and all things are equal, then that's great. But otherwise, you need to make sure that you're careful with your budget. In most cases, that insurance is included with the payments. Sometimes it's not, but just make sure you know that ahead of time as well when you're calculating your monthly payments. Number 6, you need to make sure that you're comfortable with the upfront costs in purchasing a home. Now, a lot of people are familiar with down payments on homes, and that's going to vary depending on what kind of program you have with your lender, but there are also some other costs involved as well that people don't think about. Number 1 is earnest money. Earnest money is basically good faith money that you're putting down to show the seller that, yes, I'm interested in the property and this is going to help execute the contract, all right? Typically, it can be $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. I've even seen up to $10,000, all right? This is something that stays in the brokerage of the buying office and it just sits in the account. It doesn't do anything. It's there just basically as a deposit. You can think of it that way. The reason it's there, number 1, it is helpful for you to help execute the contract, but number 2, it also protects the seller in the event that you decide to leave leave the country and go somewhere else and not continue with the contract, then they would keep that earnest money. This money comes back out at the closing table, so just keep in mind it's more like a deposit than anything else. You also have costs for home inspections and termite and pest inspections as well. So those can run a few $100s. So just keep that in mind when you're buying a home. Not only do you need to account for your down payment, but you also need to think about your earnest money and also your inspection costs as well, because these things add up, and if you're not accounting for them, it could put you in a bind. Number 7, make sure that you get a home and pest inspection when you're putting in your offer, and you'll want to work with your realtor or real estate agent with that to make sure that you're asking for the proper inspections when you're turning in your offer, all right? Now, there are some cases where sellers will say, nope, I don't want any home inspections. If you do that, then I'm not selling the home to you. I'll just go to somebody else that isn't requesting a home inspection. And that's happening a little bit more in this ultra-competitive environment, but home inspections are really important because it's basically going to run through any issues that are going on with the home. A good home inspector will take pictures, they'll make notes about repairs that are needed, they'll check out the roof, the HVAC, the heating, the plumbing, and basically any other foundation issues that are going on with the home to make sure in all that everything is working properly. So make sure you work with a good home inspector and also a termite inspector as well to make sure there's not any damage that you're not even seeing that could be caused by termites. So these things may sound goofy, like Brandon, I don't need to do all that. Trust me, if you don't do them, sometimes it could cost you thousands of dollars. So just make sure that you get the home inspection unless it's absolutely a no-go for the seller and they're not willing to negotiate on it. Otherwise, I would try to get it every single time. Now, this next one comes because it was an absolute horror story for this buyer, and I want to make sure you do not make this mistake. This one, number 8, make sure you do not open up any new lines of credit between the time that you sign the contract and the time that you close on your home. Let me give this very specific example. There was a buyer that was getting ready to go to the closing table in about 3 to 4 days. It had been about 30 days since they signed the contract. So she was getting ready to get some furniture for the home, right? Everybody wants to put furniture in their home. So she opened up a line of credit at a furniture store. When she did that, she put herself in a very compromising position because the lender can pull your credit at any point between contract signing and closing. So when the lender pulled her credit again right before closing, her credit was not good enough for the loan that she wanted, and she ended up losing the house. That is a terrible example, but it 100% happened. Make sure you don't do anything to ding your credit in between contract signing and the 30 to 45 days sometimes it can take to close on a home. Number 9, start booking your movers early, all right? After you get a firm closing date in hand from the closing office and from the lender and everyone else, everybody's on board, they know what date they want to close, go ahead and start booking your movers. Don't do this a day or two before because movers book up, especially depending on the time of year that you're looking at. And also, your realtor may know of some good discounts or deals for certain moving companies as well. Use them as a resource not only for home inspectors and termite inspectors, but also movers as well. This is what we do all the time, all right? So just make sure you take care of that as soon as possible. You don't want to get in a bind when you're getting ready to move out of your new house, but then you realize, oh, forgot to book the movers. We need to be out of here in the next 2 days because maybe the buyers of your home are scheduled to move in. Make sure you don't make that mistake or you'll end up paying dearly for that last minute help. And finally, number 10, after you do your home inspection and you see there's some repairs that need to be done, or if there are some cosmetic changes that you want to make to the property, such as new carpet, new hardwood, new painting, or anything like that, do that before you move into the house. It makes life so much simpler when you can just move your stuff in to a move-in ready property. And this goes back to one of my earlier points where I told you to make sure that you budget and make sure you know upfront costs. Now, this is an upfront cost that is completely voluntary, but if you want to go ahead and paint a house or if you want to put new hardwood down, go ahead and account for that in your budget whenever you're working with your lender as well. So it makes things easier. Once you get your furniture in, you get all your toys in or all your furniture or all your kitchen stuff, it gets harder to move that stuff out of the way to get these projects done. So I'm always an advocate of getting it done when the house is completely empty. It's easier for you and it's easier for the people performing the work. All right, so that was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of different topics and I'm curious, all right, we haven't really done a deep dive on real estate, even though that's what I do every single day. I'm curious to know what you think about these 10 items. Have you had any personal experiences with these 10 points at all? Let me know down in the comments. I want to get to know you guys a little bit better in this specific topic, all right, because we are going to be talking about it some more on the channel, just because it's really important. Things are super competitive right now, and interest rates are going up as well. There's a lot going on, and this is the biggest single transaction most of us will ever have in our life. So if you have a specific question, make sure you leave that down there. I'm more than happy to help. And if you're looking for a reliable realtor in your area outside of the state of Kentucky, let me know down in the comments, because I do have a nationwide network. I'm more than happy to find somebody that is going to get the job done for you, because honestly, this is where you will either make money, lose money, get your home, or lose your home. A lot of it's going to depend on the agent that you choose to work with. If you found this video helpful or mildly entertaining, don't forget to be awesome. Give me a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications for alerts, and when you click on the Brandon Boyd Show, you are going to get the latest information on credit cards, points and miles, travel, money, finance, real estate, and everything in between. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We'll see you soon.